Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. We will start the session with a bhajan, Uttishtata Jagrava. This is a bhajan composed in Kannada. The history behind this is, in one of our annual satsang, we wanted the bhajans in different languages. So we requested a devotee to compose, set everything and send it to us. We did not give him much time, probably a day or two. And because of his commitment to the ideal and his ardent prayer and involvement, he was able to bring it out beautifully. and we will hear it now.
जाग्रत मनुजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत मनुजा उत्तिष्ठत जाग्रत ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆ ಸಖನೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆ ಸಖನೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಗುರಿಯು ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ನಿನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದೆ ಆರತುರ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಗುರಿಯು ಆತ್ಮದರ್ಶನ ನಿನ್ನೊಳಗೆ ಇದೆ ಆರತುರ ಬನ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತ ಈ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ಜೀವನದಿ ಬನ್ನ ಪಡುತ್ತ ಈ ಕ್ಷುದ್ರ ಜೀವನದಿ ಇನ್ನು ತೊಳಲದಿರು ಮುನ್ನಡೆ ಸಖನೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆ ಸಖನೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮಮತೆಯ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನೀನೆಂದು ಭ್ರಮಿಸದಿರೆ ನೀ ಎಂದೆಂದು ಮಮತೆಯ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನೀನೆಂದು ಭ್ರಮಿಸದಿರೆ ನೀ ಎಂದೆಂದು ಅಮರ ಆತ್ಮನೇ ಅಮೃತ ಪುತ್ರನೇ ಅಮರ ಆತ್ಮನೇ ಅಮೃತ ಪುತ್ರನೇ ಅಮರಾನಂದನೇ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣನು ನೀ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ಸೇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನೀ ಅರೆಕ್ಷಣವಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆ ಸಖನೆ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ ಮನುಜ ಉತ್ತಿಷ್ಠತ ಜಾಗ್ರತ
O man of supreme vigilance, arise, awake, until the target is reached. O Supreme Being, keep moving until you reach the goal. Your goal is self-realization. That gem is within you. Do not suffer anymore. March on to merge with yourself. Do not be under the illusion that you are this mortal body which you love the most. You are the eternal Atman. You are the Son of the Supreme Almighty. You are the Supreme Bliss. You are already complete. Amara Atmane Amrita Putrane. Do not be under the illusion that you are this mortal body which you love the most. You are the eternal Atman. You are the Son of the Supreme Almighty. You are the Supreme Bliss. You are already complete. Every now and then the seekers, sadhakas, bhaktas, that is why importance is given for bhajans, Rather than a prose, we will be able to remember some fears that will connect us up to the core of our being. Of course, as Puja Swamiji said, that Atma Kripa is necessary. I must tune myself into the theme. And when I tune myself, the spark comes. And it will have some dent in my thoughts, words and deeds. So that is why he is providing bhajans. And in all satsangs or in groups like this, we give a lot of importance for bhajan. It is not merely for hearing. It also helps us to relax ourselves, no doubt. But at the same time, far from that, it is giving a push to the goal we are expected to reach. Next is a prayer. There is a prayer. Papa, in the second chapter of In Quest of God, he clearly mentioned what is the main roadblock in our spiritual progress. The me and mine. Kindly remove the me and mine from me, and take me under your complete protection and guidance. This is the prayer in the second chapter. So we have a doubt how to become aware of this. Just because we read me and mine is not going to be erased from our mind. Papa suggests that when we try to dwell on the great provider who has provided, who has been providing everything to us, right from our human birth, we will be able to slowly accept subservience to the power, and that will have its own positive impact in reducing the dominance of me and mine. Here is a poem composed by Swami Dayanji Maharaj, very touching. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. I am blessed with all that one can hope for, ask for. I have a mind to think, it is thy glory. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, all these are thy glory. I have in front of me a world so vast and so variegated enough for me to express myself. Again it is thy glory. I can even make this prayer to you. This capacity to appreciate you is again thy glory. I seek from thee nothing, for you have given me everything. Inside me, outside me. Your presence is something that I can't miss, I don't want to miss. Let thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see thy glory. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. I am blessed with all that one can hope for and ask for. I have a mind to think, It is thy glory. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, all these are thy glory. I have in front of me a world so vast and so variegated enough for me to express myself. Again it is thy glory. I can make, I can unmake. All these possibilities are again thy glory. I can even make this prayer to you. This capacity to appreciate you is again thy glory. I seek from thee nothing, for you have given me everything. Inside me, outside me. Your presence is something that I can't miss, I don't want to miss. Let thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see thy glory. When we repeat this prayer again and again, if we do it immediately, it becomes ritualistic, lip level, superficial. But once in a way, when we repeat it and do some manana, and we try to go each and every sentence, each and every expression of His glory, we will slowly start feeling the same in actuality. For example, I have eyes to see, I have ears to hear. So I start thinking, what is it that makes me to see? It is not that I desire. The moment I open my eyes, the seeing is going on. The hearing is going on. Tasting, touching, smelling, thinking. It gives us some clues. So prayer is not to be read and gone. Prayer is to come back. We have to dwell on it intensely. In the midst of our various preoccupations, we will be able to retain something that will help us in times of crisis. One anecdote somebody shared that comes up, less up in our mind. A person who doesn't believe in the traditional form of spirituality or God, at the same time he is hardworking, honest, simple man. So he always says that there is nothing called God. The board, isn't it? The board.
I have nothing to ask for thee. I have nothing to ask for thee. Oh Lord, I have nothing to ask for thee.
Huh?
Thy glory.
He immediately painted a board and exhibited it just in front of his house. God is nowhere.
Yeah.
After his many years of struggles, one day he came back from the professional field and looked there completely exhausted, and the stressful phase was there. So his son, who came from the school, asked him, "Dad, why are you looking so sad?" He said, "You cannot understand. We have nobody. on whom we can depend upon. Everything is going against our wishes. I don't see any way out. Like that, like sitting like this. Then the boy said, no, 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 you cannot say nobody is here. You said God is now here. So he took him out and made him to read. So the other man wrote, no, God is nowhere. No? But he put a comma at the W. So even in the truth is, even in the negation, the assertions continue because it's the truth. So why we remember, at one time or when we hear a prayer, probably it may not impress us much because our tuning has not taken place. But a time will come when God will give us an opportunity to remember it. Otherwise, why should He facilitate us to hear a prayer? Because there is a purpose behind everything that He does. So He may have His own reasons to give me something, though I may not appreciate or understand or try to understand anything. But definitely He gives me what is needed. At one time or other, He will make me realize, I have already given to you, the medicine for it. So like that, when we, and there is a story behind this poem also, and this prayer also. One of the ashram devotees passed away who was staying nearby. It was 2-3 decades back, 25 years back, yeah. So when they vacated the building, so many things were there, writing stuff. So they all brought it here. Out of which this prayer was there. They could have thrown it away, they could have burnt it, but they did not do it. And they made us to locate this, identify this. And then we started reading it in our satsang sessions, then got it typed. Now it is a part of our prayer treasures. So then when we look back, we understand He provides everything. God arranges all things in His own way at the time He appoints. So let us try to keep it open. So that is how this prayer came to our hands. Once again we will read, O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. I am blessed with all that one can hope for, ask for. I have a mind to think. It is thy glory. Because if the mind is not there, how will I know all these things? Whatever we read, whatever we see, whatever we hear, it has got to be registered, no? It's a powerful tool. I have a mind to think. It is thy glory. I have eyes to see, ears to hear. All these are thy glory. I have in front of me a world so vast and so variegated, enough for me to express myself. Again it is thy glory. I can make, I can unmake. All these possibilities are again thy glory. I can even make this prayer to you. This capacity to appreciate you is again thy glory. I seek from thee nothing. Because you have given me everything. Inside of me, outside of me, your presence is something that I cannot miss. I don't want to miss. Let thy grace be upon me, not to gain anything new, but to make me see thy glory. In all my achievements, in all my capacities, let me see thy glory. O Lord, I have nothing to ask of you. We have been, now we will go to that, a few boats. As announced yesterday, there are 30 boats now displayed, right from the place where Puja Mataji Samadhi starts. It goes on like this and then comes back at the bookstop. It is Mangalore to Mangalore. Prabhuji Papa started his yatra from Mangalore on 27th December 1922. And after 7-8 months, he came back to Bangalore, not Mangalore. We may not be able to remember the entire text. The in-depth study has revealed so many points, but even then, it was felt that each and every place, what is it that Papa wanted to convey to us? Forget about what had happened there or something. What exactly does he want to convey to us? Then it doesn't become an academic exercise or a reading exercise. Out of these 30 quotations, probably a few may remain with us, or we may get the inner alignment may take place. Today also morning somebody came and said, I was looking for certain answers, but this particular goal opened up so many things. So the process, it helps. A few quotes we will read. Vittal Rao, as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas was known before embracing Sanyas, was struggling in the whirlpool of worldly life until he was lifted up by the indwelling infinite power. He felt that he was called by the divine to leave his cocooned life of severe limits and fling himself into the vast open sky of limitless infinity. This was his first journey as a mendicant, traversing from the deep south to the far north, entirely relying on the indwelling reality alone, every day, every step, every breath. Then the roadmap, next road comes. In India, how he started going. It is coming there? No. Then Bangalore. Papa Swami Ramdas's endless struggles in his mundane life, resulting in utter helplessness, led his advent into the world as a mendicant. He heard the inner voice of God. Then he cried. It was like a plank thrown towards a man struggling for very life in the stormy waves of a raging sea. On 27th December 1922, at 5 o'clock in the morning, he left Mangalore by train, by bidding farewell to a world for which he had lost all attractions and in which he could find nothing to call his own. The body, the mind, the soul, all were laid at the feet of God. On 27th December 1922 at 5 o'clock in the morning, he left Mangalore by train, by bidding farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction and in which he could find nothing to call his own. The body, the mind, the soul, all were laid at the feet of God. And here Papa's quotation. A seeker's likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. Elsewhere you say, we have been preparing. But we should take the leap. Fling. The seeker's likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. And from Mangalore he moved to Srirangam. Not that he moved, he was made to move, because he had no idea. There is a station called E Road. Morning 5 o'clock the train took him and left him. He got down at E Road. Did not know what to do. So somebody asked him in the station, where are you going? He said, who knows? Ram knows. Then he said, I am going to Trichy in the night train. So he accompanied him up to Trichy. From Trichy he was prompted to go to Srirangam by walk. Passing through E Road and Trichy, Papa was guided to the banks of Kaveri, where he renounced all that he was holding dearly, including his name, Vital Rao. For him, Sanyas was like being lifted by the divine from the narrow pond of a worldly life, thrown into the extensive ocean of a universal life. This is his definition about Sanyas. For him, Sanyas was like being lifted by the divine from the narrow pond of a worldly life and thrown into the extensive ocean of a universal life. Papa says, Sanyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. Sanyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. Because when he was prompted to take sannyas, when he went to the, what is the place? Srirangam, Amma Mandapam, right? Amma Mandapam. So there immediately he offered the white clothes to the Mother Kaveri, put on the yellow, and took 3 oaths. The first vow, this life will be fully, entirely consecrated to, very important word, the meditation of and the service of Ram. It is not only a meditation inside, in the inward journey, but it is also serving his creation outside. Meditation of Ram inside, service of Ram outside. Second was, you would see the entire women folk as his mother. Third one was, he would purely live upon alms procured by Bhiksha. This life be henceforth entirely consecrated to meditation and the service of Sri Ram. He was not withdrawing from any field of activities. Only the self-interest is removed, that's all. Self-interest in any form, no, it is removed. Strict celibacy be observed, looking upon all women as mothers. The body be maintained and fed upon the food procured by Bhiksha, or on what was offered as alms. So sannyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and service, and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. Rameshwar, no? Throwing himself entirely at the feet of God, Papa traveled wherever he was guided to, with an empty pocket, just 2 clothes and a few books, all his possession in the world. Hurdles did not hold him back. He managed to find something positive in every experience. Where others found prickly thorns, he saw fragrant roses. Papa's words. Optimism leads you Godward, while pessimism pushes you down into the morass of skepticism, despair, and woe. Optimism leads you Godward, while pessimism pushes you down into the morass of skepticism, despair, and woe. No. क्या हुआ? Gonna back. Reverse road. Madhuri. Dear Mary. Madurai, as his one and only guide and guardian led him further, he saw many wonders of art and architecture. But behind every carved stone and beneath every masterpiece, he found the signature of his master. Every towering structure showed him the splendorous glory of the Creator. When you go to temple, we hardly notice all these things, As his one and only guide, and guardian, led him further, he saw many wonders of art and architecture. But behind every carved stone and beneath every masterpiece, he found the signature of his master. Every towering structure showed him the splendorous glory of the Creator. We also see and we appreciate, that's all. We hardly think about the creative power in the person. No? So here another quotation. Be the light unto yourself, and in your own original way, manifest the magnificence and power of your enlightened life. Be highly creative, set free the infinite power that is within you. Be the light unto yourself, and in your own original way, manifest the magnificence and power of your enlightened life. Be highly creative and set free the infinite power that is within you. Every day we will cover 3 or 4. So today we have covered how many? 3. Madurai, Rameshwaram, Srirangam. One more vacancy. Chidambaram. His path was often paved with hurdles, but with no grumbling or mumbling. He went on, embracing every situation cheerfully. At unexpected corners, he found the generous providence of God. He did as exactly as he was prompted to. At the same time, Whenever things did not happen as expected, he took even the non-fulfillment as his will and wish. It's a very important point for all of us, you know. We pray for some remedy, you know, the fulfillment and the non-fulfillment. If we are in a position to accept both with the same mind, that's what his life says. Not merely the prompting comes, that is also from within. He makes him to go there, but there is a non-fulfillment of that prompting. He accepts that also as his way. So no grumblings, no complaints. In another incident, he walked 32 kilometers, 20 miles. Morning he started, reached there by noon with no chapel. Extreme summer. And then he wanted to have the darshan of Aurobindo. Then he was told, Aurobindo has gone on silent for 1 year. Nobody can see him. Even that, how cheerfully. Later on in one of the stations, Ajmer, when he was driven out by the radio police, finally he spotted a place under a tree and there is nothing for him to lie down excepting his own bare body. So when he lay down on Mother Earth, he could smell the urine there. That also without any aversion. He was able to see the finger of God behind that. There are so many. So probably by reading it, by assimilating it, by absorbing it, we might be able to move 1 inch towards that state, His path was often paved with hurdles, but with no grumbling or mumbling. He went on, embracing every situation cheerfully. At unexpected corners, he found the generous providence of God. He did exactly as he was prompted to. At the same time, whenever things did not happen as expected, he took even the non-fulfillment as his will and wish. Papa says, life must flow spontaneously like a river. Whatever act you do will, in this condition, be utterly divine. Spontaneously like the river. Without any prefix, suffix, expectations. Don't have any misgivings or doubts. Push on until the great truth within you reveal itself in all its glory through every part of your being. Life must flow spontaneously like a river. Whatever act you do will, in this condition, be utterly divine. Don't have any misgivings or doubts. Push on until the great truth within you reveals itself in all its glory through every part of your being. So like that every day we will try to cover 4 or 5 boats. And in the meantime we request all of you to kindly see the boat in its place, and whenever you find there is an inner alignment, note it down. Mobiles are there, you can take a photograph, and so that you will be able to pass it on to those who have not been able to come here. Here. Yeah. Who is the theatre? So when we started, can you get me the when we started digging deep, we were able to find out 198 points and which cannot be shared on any platform. It is difficult. So then what is the quintessence of those points? Their contents are filtered. So it was brought to 23. We'll first go through the entire verse so that something may remain with us. Go to the source of all sources, the great void. Number 2, subservience to a higher power, a means to erase the me and mine. Number 3, constant dialogue with him. Number 4, whenever free from duties, meditate and utter his name, be the period ever so small. Number 5, resorting to periodical solitude and observing silence aid in curbing the outgoing tendencies of the mind. Prayer, can you show that? It is there in stress to and last page. Or signpost from milestone, that last page. No, it has to be connected to the. It is there, no, in the here it is there. Anyway, let them try to bring it. We will read. So prayer becomes most effective when it is self-originated. Tripod of sadhana: fixed resolve, sustained faith, optimistic outlook. Of these three, an optimistic outlook is more important. Number 9, depend exclusively on inner guidance. 10, self-imposed disciplines ensure progress. 11, maintain equanimity in all conditions. 12, throw ourselves entirely at his mercy with nothing to fall back upon excepting him. 13, accept every situation cheerfully, treating it as ordained by God. 14, develop a positive attitude at all times, including adverse and trying circumstances. 15, real contentment is the outcome of a dedicated life, free from grumblings and complaints. So you can take this. No. You can take this. Delete it. I don't know where you have kept. Control N. Number 13, accept every situation, develop a positive attitude, real contentment. Okay. Number 16, as far as possible, try to be in a spiritually conducive atmosphere. Number 17, although our life and all its ingredients are transient, it does not mean that they are insignificant in any sense. All events and individuals have a purpose in the grand scheme of things. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. Pray to the Creator to help us remain steadfast in our commitment to remember Him in all actions and see Him in all of His manifestations. Becoming aware of His grace enables us to do sadhana perseveringly, knowing that He is the activating principle behind all events and individuals, including sadhana. Become aware that personal, impersonal, saguna, nirguna all have relevance in spirituality. Personal means deities, mahatmas, bhaktotamas. Impersonal, the indwelling spirit. Saguna, attributes such as love, compassion, kindness. Nirguna, beyond attributes such as stillness, silence, witness consciousness. 22. Steps in the spiritual journey. Bhakti is the root, Vairagya is the trunk, Jnana is the flower, Parabhakti is the fruit. Bhakti means devotion to God, Vairagya means withdrawal from the outer to the inner, Jnana, feeling the presence of the Atman within, Parabhakti, feeling the whole universe, including us, provided by Him only. Tests come unawares. May He enable us to experience the zenith of spirituality, peace and serenity at the inner level, and absence of otherness, love at the outer level. So these are the 23 points. You are showing it? You are showing it? So go to the source of all sources. The first chapter, Papa brings the word the great void. He was, during his struggling days, among the various books he read, Yoga Vasishtha was also there, in which we could find this word in Swami Venkateshananda's years written in 2 volumes. In that we were able to find out this word great void. Only for one time he has used. He heard, when he cried, he heard from the great void. Initially we were reading it, but we were not applying our mind intently. Then only, and Mataji had also elaborately discussed about it. Can you give me? And Mataji put it in a simple form, though it is a very, very, very complex word, Mahashunyam. We were extremely finding it difficult to translate it. Great word. Mahashunyam, so many things, but still it cannot convey anything. Mataji puts it in a beautiful way. That is, Mataji's words, probably we might be able to understand it. Papa wanted me to look upon the Guru as the omnipresent, omniscient, nirguna, nirvigar being. Papa taught me that Guru was as vast, limitless, formless as the emptiness all around me. You pour water into the emptiness, it will not get wet. You set fire to it, it will not burn. Such a universal one is the Guru, calling Papa or God. You must know who God is, Papa is. He is Nirguna, Nirakara, Shashvata, all-pervading existence. You can get some idea of Papa's God Swarup if you stand on an open ground and look at the sky. The space where there is nothing between the earth and the sky can give you an insight into God's all-pervading existence beyond all names and forms. Though his Nirguna Swarup cannot be compared to anything, to give you some idea, I would say that it is like the vacant space between us which is all-pervading. He cannot enjoy his bliss as Nirguna, but he willed he should enjoy it. And in order to do so, he projected himself as the entire universe and the multitudinous beings and creatures in it. As the indwelling reality, God guides himself, and therefore all are not aware of his existence in them. In order to make them aware of it and to reveal himself in their hearts, our Sadguru Papa came in a human form to guide them. It is possible to guide human beings only through a human form. Therefore, the Guru, the Supreme Lord, comes in a human form to teach and guide humanity. In the beginning, Mataji said, there was only a vast, limitless, empty space, a great void. This void represented God's transcendental, eternal being. Such a being we had to realize within ourselves. Just as we could have an idea of what a man or an object was, like by the shadow it cast on the earth, likewise she was mentioning the void as representing him, that he was like the infinite space we could see all around us when we were flying in the plane. In actuality, Mataji said he was all this and far, far beyond. So what she was telling us was merely an approximity to reality, like the shadow was to the man. Now I shall explain to you what sort of sadhana our beloved Purushottam Papa had prescribed for me. He gave me the name of God, the name of the Supreme Being. He asked me to keep the mind contemplating on Him, who is the Supreme Being, transcending everything, who has become everything, who is dwelling in our hearts, and asked me to pray to Him, to reveal Himself in my heart. He further instructed me to do whatever work that came to me as service to Him. God's eternal being that we have to attain is one of His emptiness, utter emptiness, total void, like the vacant space around us. If we are to attain such a void, we should also become thoroughly empty within. That is to say, there should not be the least vestige of Dehabhiman in us. Only then we can attain Papa's Shashvata Swarup. Unless our Dehabhiman goes completely, until the least trace of it disappears altogether, God cannot reveal Himself in us. God's real nature, real Svabhava is Nirguna Nirvigara Swarup, nameless, formless, static, void aspect. Such a Supreme Being who fills all space came in a human form in order to enjoy His own bliss. It is like enclosing the emptiness that is all around you within the confines of a small container. Take away the enclosure, what is left? Only emptiness again. Like that, she keeps on explaining about it. So we come from where? That inquiry. Ultimately, we have to, when we say all the knowables are removed, emptiness means not that it is empty, but it is all the knowables are removed and what remains cannot be explained. We will find that on 27th we will have that silence, where Papa and Gurudev Swami Shivanji Maharaj, they talk about silence. So how can we explain silence? Similarly, how can we explain about great void? But ultimately, when we keep on going within, we have been promised or assured by them that the thinking, the medium, it's called thoughts, the mind. Mind gets dissolved in the static state. Then nobody is there to explain anything. So whatever knowables we have, the moment the mind becomes active, the list of knowables pervade everywhere. When we remove all these things, and exclusively when we concentrate on the inward journey, that is why this Nama chanting Papa prescribes, mental chanting he prescribes, is far more effective than vocal and silent. Because in mental chanting, we should know that we are chanting, and that knowing, that means the stage comes when we know that we are chanting, then we are trying to find out who is knowing and who is chanting. At that particular fraction of a second, the chanting stops. Again, some other thoughts come, so we again take to chanting. And Papa says the gap between one chanting and another, it has to be lengthened by practice. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So in between, no? Then what we experience is named as great void. That is the source in which we all exist. So that is how Papa brings the word great void. And later on, he named it as Ram. And Ram has been explained exhaustively in the first article, before the first chapter. So, among the quintessence, go to the source of all sources. Elsewhere, Papa says, go to your own source and the source of the world. We are born to our parents. We thought previously they are the source. Then we understand now that they are only the instrumental cause. You know? Because they were also born to their parents. They were also born to another parent. So we can remember at least one or two or three. More than that, no. The intellect cannot reach. So the original source we cannot reach. So we then go to the sources of Mahatmas. And Bhagavad Gita says, Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam. So I am the eternal seed. There are, in Bhagavad Gita, there are 4 slokas which keeps on emphasizing about this aspect. Chapter number 15, Bhagavad Gita, 15th sloka. Sarvasya jaham hridisannivishto mattasmudijnanam aboganam cha vedaischa sarve ahameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videva chama. I am seated in the hearts of all living beings, and from me come memory, knowledge as well as forgetfulness. I alone am to be known by all the Vedas. I am the author of the Vedas and the knower in the meaning of the Vedas. Bijam Mam, chapter number 7, slogan number 10. Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam Viddhit Partha Sanatanam Buddhir Buddhimatamasmi Tejas Tejasvinavaha. O Arjuna, know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect of the intelligent, the splendor of the glorious. In chapter 9, again at sloka 18, Gadir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasam Sharanam Suhrid Prabhava Pralayam Sthanam Nidanam Bijam Abhyayam. I am the supreme God of all living beings, and I am also their sustainer, master, witness, which were not known to us till then. Abode, shelter, friend. I am the origin, end, resting place of the creation. I am the repository and eternal seed. In chapter number 10, again slogan number 39. Yachavi sarvabhudanam bijam tataham arjuna na tadasti vina yasyad maya bhudam characharam. I am the generating seed of all living beings. O Arjuna, no creature moving or non-moving can exist without me. Again, chapter number 14, slogan number 3. Sarvayunishu kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavandiya Tasam Brahma Mahadvani Aham Bija Pradapida. He says it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. And then in chapter number 14, Mamayonir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhava Sarvabhudanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. My womb is the real Brahman, in which I place the seed. From that, O Bharata, is the birth of all beings. So we all owe our origin to God. No? We have forgotten this connection and feel that our sense of individuality with body, mind, intellect is the starting point of our life. So Papa wants us to go back to this. That is why he said great void. By bringing great void, he touched and kindled all these vital aspects in us. And then once we are convinced about it, that we owe our origin to him, the next stage is trying to become subservient. Because still the sense of individuality will arrogate, because it has not been trained. It has been asserting all these years its relevance, its power. So it's very difficult to tame it. So to erase it, subservience, however, just now we read that thy glory. Only by dwelling on his glory, Apar Mahima, probably we may be able to reduce the dominance of me and mine. Everything has come from him. Everything has come from him. What is it that I can? We fail, we forget. Now the hearing is there. We have understood. Intellectually we are 100% convinced about it. But when it comes to the actuality, we find it difficult to implement it. So here Papa says, constantly have this. And for this he wanted us to have constant dialogue with him. Throughout this request of God, you will find this constant dialogue. Even if it is for 5 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Because the constant dialogue, he had elsewhere said, there are 4 steps in spiritual journey. One is the nearness, feeling the nearness. Second is feeling his presence within. Third is feeling one with him. Feeling the same in everybody. And the last is feeling one with him. Samipyam, Sanidhyam, Yapanam, Yekatvam. So the first, in order to step into the first stage, nearness, I must develop a dialogue with him. I have now intellectually understood that you have given me this human birth. You have been providing right from the moment of the seed level to this level. You have been providing. My intellect is 100% convinced about it. But you did not train my mind. And you made the mind to arrogate itself. And for that it has gathered so many points to justify its existence. I am unable to get myself freed from it. Please enable me to free myself. Something like this, Papa wants all of us to have a dialogue every day in our own language. In our own language means we don't mean the language, in our own way. whatever is possible, in whatever way it is possible, we try to feel His presence within. And that is why He said, whenever free from duties, meditate and utter His name, be the period ever so small. Even while we are waiting in the bus stand, even while there is a pause moment in reading, even while we are traveling to the office, even while we are taking our bath, even when we are walking or washing the clothes or washing, there will be some pause moments. Papa wanted us, wants all of us to make use of that 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds to remember. He says, that's what he was doing. In the first chapter, you will find this word, be the period ever so small. Whenever free from duties, meditate and utter His name, be the period ever so small. And then to develop this, he resorted to solitude. In Tiruvannamalai, after the darshan of Bhagavan, he came back and he told his friend who took him to Bhagavan, Ramdas would like to spend in solitude. Then on that hill, Almera Guha, it is still there. It was located. Even today we find it difficult to go inside. There he was there for 21 days. Only for Bhiksha he used to come and then get back immediately. So there he was going through it. So then he makes us to think that with all our preoccupations, we should find some ways or means by which we withdraw ourselves from our present field of activities, even if it is for 1 hour, or 1 day in a week, or 1 day in fortnight, something like that. We devise our own method, but we have to withdraw. Then only all these things can be repeatedly gone through. Rest of the point we will take up, because in one go if we do that we may not remember. So the first one is to remember our source. Second one is
great voice, great voice,
subservience to God. Dialogue. Then solitude. If these things, like that, suppose we, so source, for anything we try to develop this, the probing nature is used for going to the source. The mic, which we are using, when there was no mic. How you made somebody to think about that a sound can be amplified through these equipment, It was a fresh, there was no one, when there was no amplifier at all, when there was no specs, he made somebody to think about specs. When there was no chair, he made somebody to think about. When there was no pandal, there was no structure, when there was no language. Like that we keep on identifying. So then we go to the source. This is what he wanted. Source. Your source as well as the source of the world, whatever we see outside.
That means God, no? Source means God.
So that we have to keep on happening. Then we come to know that it is the power who has provided. That power has provided everything that we call it as a creature comfort or the basic needs of our existence. And then third one is constant dialogue with him. We somehow, these are practical hints, Spirituality should become a part of our life. So when we say that inquest of God is a what do you call it?
Life
Manual for life. How does it become a manual? 37 chapters give us this 198 tools that we carry it in our memory. Whenever there is a need, we take that particular tool and try with that. If we are not in a position to carry so much load, at least let us carry this 23, so that it will help us. That was the purpose for which now we know that he initiated us into this in-depth study. And whenever we can say that we are preoccupied with so many things, family, profession, society, so many things. So how am I good? Then Papa answered, even the period I was so small. And as a matter of discipline, somehow receding from the intense activity, or what you call withdrawal from the field, it is a must. Periodical. That will make us evaluate, that will know which are the areas we have to improve. And on that particular day, we can draw our own routine, suiting to our equipment. Certain people may not be able to sit, certain people may not be able to walk. There are so many things out there. Certain people may be able to fast, certain people may not be able to fast. So whatever that is okay for our equipment, we choose a routine, daily routine, and then make use of that withdrawal period to plunge more and more deep into the origin. This is what Papa did all these things. How did he do that? Withdrawal? Everything has been explained. We will not be able to do that. Absolutely ruled out. But still, we can try in a simple way. So, one more thing we would like to share with you all. Sitting at the feet of Ramdas. This book has been compiled by devotees of Mother Hamilton, David, Yogacharya David Ji used to come here regularly, and Mother also has come and visited here during Papa's time and during Papa's visit to the United States in '54. Papa spent some time, and afterward they came here and spent some time. So the devotees have taken pains. Their labor of love has come out in the form of sitting at the feet of Ramdas. From writings of Swami Ramdas, Mother Hamilton, and Puja Swami Sachidananda. So it covers, we have not been able to cover the whole thing, but there are many portions in the Gospel where Papa was sharing with Mother, Mother was sharing. And so this will be very, very useful for all spiritual aspirants. This book is available. They wanted to give free to everybody. So those who would like to have it, kindly get it from Larry and Ketama has gone. She is coming. We will just read out one small portion. Mother Hamilton was an American saint whose life was changed when she met Beloved Papa in Seattle in 1954 while he was on his world tour. Mother first met Papa in the hotel where he was staying, and later he came to her home to give a talk to the spiritual group she led. It was a blissful time. In 1957, Mother and her husband Ralph sold all they had, came to sit at the feet of Papa at Anandashram for several months, where she underwent profound spiritual experiences. Mother returned to India and Anandashram two other times, in 1967 and in 1977. Papa recently prompted her devotees to compile a book entitled Sitting at the Feet of Ramdas, which covered the divine relationship between Mother and Papa. They wanted to bring together all the material about this subject in one book and extracted material from World is God, Papa's book, Ramdas Speaks, the Vision magazine, Gospel of Swami Ramdas, as well as some of Mother's letters from Anandashram. The devotees are thrilled to have the book printed in celebration of Papa's Sanyas Centenary. Today is Christmas Day and also Mother Hamilton's birthday. And so the devotees would like to pass out the book as prasad to those who have an interest in it. Lari will pass out to the gents and Kate on the ladies' side. So they are sitting there. Anybody can, gents can go from there later, and they can get the book. It will be a wonderful, inspiring book, especially when we have the background of Papa. Applied spirituality. Applied spirituality. Param Puja Swami Chidanji Maharaj explains about daily life and daily sadhana. Then only, it becomes always, in Malayalam we say, or Tamil we say, Yellum Pachashim. It did not go together. We go to ashrams, we go to temples, we hear discourses, we read books, but our life, our day-to-day life is entirely different. There is no connection. So this has been brought out beautifully by Swamiji Maharaj. He says, both are necessary. Daily life is an opportunity provided for us to exercise the spiritual dimensions gained during our inner studies, reflection, japa and meditation. It is the testing ground. Daily life is the testing ground, so that each day our progress is really ours. We have made it our own by having tested it, proven it, possessed it. Until it has been tested and proven, it is not our own. It does not become part of us. If we look at ours, we will find that we have heard so many things, we have read so many things, but it does not become part of us. Because the effort to harmonize it with our daily life, integrate with our life. Swamiji gives importance. Today, Swamiji morning was giving us some points, Anybody can say one point?
Forgiving Draupadi, forgiving Swamiji.
Draupadi
Forgiving Draupadi, forgave.
Huh?
Papa did not mind people's insulting him, like Draupadi forgave
He was quoting Draupadi.
and linking with Papa.
Ashwatthama. Attitude towards Ashwatthama by Arjuna. Attitude on Ashwatthama by Draupadi. So they did not see him as a killer.
Guru.
They were able to raise themselves from to a higher level. From the individual level, he is the killer. My mind will always label him as a killer. But when we raise ourselves to a higher level, the whole picture changes. We can accommodate them. He is my Guru's son. Like that, it comes. So, then the testing ground. Daily life is an opportunity provided for us to exercise. When we go through this inquest of God, Papa is throwing himself out to the field. He was not sitting in the cave. He was not with a teacher. He was exposed to the entire Jagat. Just like Mahatmaji, he was in the midst of activities. He did not withdraw himself from anywhere. He went through everything. But at the same, because it was a testing ground. That is why it became his. You will again read. Daily life is an opportunity provided for us to exercise the spiritual dimension gained during our inner studies, reflection, japa, meditation. It is the testing ground so that each day our progress becomes really ours. We have made it our own by having tested it, proven it, possessed it. Until it has been tested and proven, it is not our own. It does not become part of us. Every spiritual step, every spiritual step forward becomes assimilated into your nature when it is thus exercised. Every spiritual step forward becomes assimilated into your nature when it is thus exercised. That which is exercised actively becomes firmly grounded, permanently and truly your own. Thus there is indispensable connection between your daily sadhana and your daily life. It's a very, very important point for all of us, devotees and sadhakas, which we could see in Quest of God. That which is exercised actively becomes firmly grounded, permanently and truly your own. Thus there is indispensable connection between your daily sadhana and your daily life. It is in the context of daily life that you are able to actively exercise and test your spiritual progress. So the daily life is given to us by him only to test these, Initially, he gave us a long rope to have our own likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs, preferences, priorities, and whatnot, ambitions, cravings, desires, preconceived notions. He gave us a long rope, we were playing. But a stage came when he knew that it is going from bad to worse. He somehow brought us in touch with a Mahatma or an incident or any world soul in whom we developed respect and in whom we saw so many things that really touched us, and we start turning towards him. Here again the point is, if we simply try to appreciate, he is good, he is great, he is good, he is great, so what? So that is why he says, it is in this context that there is an indispensable connection between your daily sadhana and your daily life. Whether it is family life, whether professional life or social life. It is in the context of daily life that you are able to actively exercise and test your spiritual progress. And under this is given, how do we know? So he has to put us on test. It is in the context of your daily sadhana that day by day the quality of your daily life is enhanced and enriched. It becomes further elevated to progressively ever higher dimensions of culture, refinement, and a transformed spiritual nature. So previously he said, it is in the context of daily life that you are able to actively exercise and test your spiritual progress. Then he says, it is in the context of your daily sadhana. So sadhana, it enables me to improve the quality of my life. And daily life provides me an opportunity to get it stamped, It is in the context of your daily sadhana that day by day the quality of your daily life is enhanced, enriched. It becomes further elevated to progressively ever higher dimensions of culture, refinement, and a transformed spiritual nature. So Swamiji is drawing our attention to this very salient aspect. We normally think this is separate, that is separate, compartmentalized. You people sitting in ashram can say that, but we are, no doubt, the challenges are too heavy, duties are too heavy, commitments are too heavy, very difficult, but still, when Swamiji says we will try, God is providing all these challenges, everything. I was thinking that I am meeting with the challenges. When God is providing me the challenges, now I realize it is only to refine me, to bring out the core content in me. So if I start doing that, Even if I fail 100 times, one time I may succeed. So, daily life is an opportunity provided for us to exercise the spiritual dimensions gained during our inner studies, reflection, japa, and meditation. Papa used to put in a simple word, outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. I am doing Nam Japa. I am doing so much of Japa every day. I am attending this bhajan. I have completed Swadhyaya of so many texts. So many we can say. I have visited all the Punya Tirthas. Everything. My mind can take credit off. But have I been able to extract that which is essential to refine my life, in my daily life, in my family life, in my professional life, in my social life, in my personal life? So daily life is an opportunity provided for us to exercise the spiritual dimensions gained during our inner studies, reflection, japa, and meditation. It is the testing ground so that each day our progress is really ours. We have made it our own by having tested it, proven it, possessed it. Until it has been tested and proven, it is not our own. It does not become part of us. Every spiritual step forward becomes assimilated into your nature when it is thus exercised. That which is exercised actively becomes firmly grounded, permanently and truly your own. Thus, there is indispensable connection between your daily sadhana and your daily life. So, no field is taboo, It is in the context of daily life that you are able to actively exercise and test your spiritual progress. It is in the context of your daily sadhana that day by day the quality of your daily life is enhanced and enriched, and it becomes further elevated to progressively ever higher dimensions of culture, refinement, and a transformed spiritual nature. So before we close, anything else? Nothing else? No. Before we close, I think we should have a quick recap. So morning we started with what? All are in static aspect. Come down to the dynamic level, please.
All gone to Samadhi, deep Samadhi.
What was the first one we let us try,
Guru Stuti. Guru Stuti.
As soon as we came here,
Guru Stuti.
Guru Stuti,
Yeah.
Brahmanandam Paramasukadam, no? Good. Then, afterwards,
Bhagavata. Draupadi's story.
eh?
Mature Venkatraman.
Nuchur Venkatraman's Ashirvajan.
Any points from that?
Gnani is a real sannyasi.
Jnani is a real Sanyas. Jnanam. Jnanam is a must. Okay. At least one point, that is enough. Then, the same people should not say,
What was the next one? After the Ashirvajan?
Bhajan.
Manasa Vacha.
Manasa Vacha Karmananam. Manadal Vaka Shera. No? It's a total, what do you call, surrender. I've been, and complain. We can complain.
Hearts cry.
We have time for 5 minutes, We will try to share. Many of you would have heard through satsang, but for the sake of those who have not heard, we will repeat it again. Many years back, when we were in Wayanad, we had to go to Bangalore to discuss with the fertilizer company for the supply of Sufala fertilizer in Wayanad area. we were working with a Jain who had the dealership, Mr. Menon. He was the regional manager. So we went, we thought, we have to give a visiting card. We don't have any visiting card. And when we went to the office, to the regional manager's office, the door is open. We went in. There was nobody to stop us. And one person was, we knew him very well. He had come to Wayanad. So as soon as he saw, he got up from the seat, welcomed us. It was that itself was a great revelation for us. Normally, a regional manager of a fertilizer corporation of India, a government of India undertaking, there will be a lot of protocols. There was nothing there. We discussed for what we went. Suddenly we looked at his table. There was Satya Sai Baba's photo. So we asked him, are you a Baba devotee? He said, yes. Then he asked us, have you gone to Puttaparthi? No. Shall we go? Okay. Shall we go now? Today. I said, okay. So we had to go to Jayanagar to get a couple of clothes. And then he said, I will also go to my lodge and come back. We will meet at Kalachipalayam, the then bus stand. So both of us reached there by about 2:30. We got into a bus, reached Puttaparthi by evening, night. Somehow we were able to get not an accommodation, I would say, in a tea shop. We were allowed to sleep. We were given a mat. And then he said, early morning, 4 o'clock, is the, what is it called, Nagara Sankirtan. So we will all go and sit before the Prashanti. Okay. So we got up very early in the morning, had our bath. We joined in the Prabhat Vedi, and then we went to the Prashanti, sat there in an oval shape. We stand. So we were here. This is the stage. So many people are sitting. Behind me, this man was sitting. Everybody was silently sitting. Suddenly this man started telling, why should we sit here? See his palace? Why should he have such a big building? I am not interested to see him. I am going. I started abusing Baba. Previously he said, when he was in the previous mood, he asked, would you like to have an interview? We said, we don't need an interview. We just would like to touch his feet if possible. That's all. Beyond that, we have no other desire. So after that, this dialogue started. And he started taking left and right, he was taking Baba. I am going. Are you coming? I said, I am not moving out until he comes. Baba came. Normally he used to stop at many places. On that particular day, he came and stood before us. So we could do the pranams. And as soon as we got up, this man suddenly, prostrated, caught hold of Baba's feet, literally washed his feet with his tears. Baba stood there for the whole evening. On that day, Baba did not correct any letters or anything, and then he went back straight. Only appointment was this person. And as soon as he went, he said, in Malayalam, he said, Nallon Chitha Parayano, appadi aduthu varu. Virodha Bhakti. And it was a test on us, We remember such incidents, So the bhakti can be in different forms. His deep-rooted bhakti, like I was wondering, it was he who told me about Prashanti, it was he who motivated, it was he who took us, and he has been with us, and after coming and sitting here, he is talking all things that should not be talked according to us. Then we found, when we read Siddhanji Maharaj, daily life and daily sadhana, unless and until a field is given, how will we know? Today, if this had happened in 70s, But still it is fresh in our mind because the message He gave, no? God gave us is something which we cannot forget at all. Don't think that there are certain things to be followed in this way or that way. I will choose any way to test you. Why did I remember this? I don't know. Anyway, it was good.
We can make something.
So all these things are, that means we should be able to link it with our life. When Swamiji Maharaj says daily life and daily sadhana, we should be able to link it with our life. This is what Papa did. And so we also try, having heard all these things. We were trying to recollect, recap was going on. Come on, guys. They were happy that you have forgotten. No. One word only. We don't want any explanation.
Swamiji missed one big session in between. We directly went to bhajan. There was a big session in between. We have all forgotten that.
Okay, then.
Swamiji session, nobody said anything. Ramayana and Mahabharata.
Then.
Bhagavata, Draupadi.
Gurudev said
Rama.
that we should be able to forgive or forget insults. That is the biggest sadhana. That's when
Samajiptada, no? Samajiptada. Equanimity, the word Swamiji used. I don't know whether you heard it.
Rama and Bharata.
Rama and Bharata. Kaikeyi, If Rama did not find fault with Kaikeyi, he wanted Bharata to revere his mother. So, then from there we move to what?
Krishna's Krishna Kali.
The footsteps. There are so many footsteps. How are we to locate? We will be able to locate. Real devotees will be able to locate the footsteps. Then after Swamiji stopped,
Manasa Vacha Karmana.
Bhajan by Devi. That we okay. Bhavani Shankara,
Uma Mahesh.
Yeah, then.
Sundar. आज मेरी
आज मेरी विनती.
कन्नड़ उत्तिष्ठता जागृता. उत्तिष्ठता.
वो तो अभी
Okay. Let us also because let us see. Uttishtata Jagrata. We started with it and then.
जागृत हो जा.
Then. Uttishtata Jagrata का प्राण मनो.
बोर्ड.
Bangalore to Bangalore. Places you remember?
Madurai, Chidambaram.
First is Bangalore, starting point. Then Srirangam, in between. Okay, then. Madurai, no? First Madurai. Madurai, no? Rameshwaram. Chidambaram. Madurai. Okay. Something you remember? Then, board come after board, what did we do? Very important prayer. High glory. And then?
Great wide.
What are the points? Quintessence?
Emptiness.
Anyone?
You have to become empty within.
Void.
From the Zen side? Go to the source. Great void. Very good. Then?
Subservience.
Subservience to God. Yes. Then?
Dialogue.
Dialogue. Daily dialogue with Him. Then? Solitude. Resorting to solitude. Okay. Something is there. Very good. Then?
Even the times.
Be the
Period
period,
ever
be the
so
period
small.
ever so small.
Period
Be
ever
the period ever so small.
Be the period ever so small, chant and meditate. Connect yourself with him. Okay.
Mataji's talks on
Void.
Nirvana, void.
Elaborate explanation about great void, the space, easy for us to understand. The space is Mahashunya. Space cannot be divided, space does not get increased, space does not get decreased. Whatever we do in the space, it does not affect. A deplorable thing happens here, a noble thing happens here, but space remains untouched and unaffected. So many dimensions are there. We never knew about it, but when Papa used the word great void, it touched and made us to think more and more about it. And we made a little research, where from he has not repeated this word anywhere. In Vedas. Total darkness was there in the beginning, and then the effulgent light came.
Asidam tamam bhutam. In the beginning it was totally dark. From there it has come. Something has to emerge before that what it was. So a tree has come. Before that what it was. The tree is reminds of the seed in a very subtle form. Likewise, before this creation came into existence, it is vector. It is known, it's a manifest reality. The manifest reality was there before as an unmanifest one. That is the great void. He uses the word great void. So in Abhyakta level, Asatvaitamagra Asi Tato Vai Sadajayata, this existence came from the non-existent one, the void one. And different ways it is put. The Upanishad.
அது விஜயம் இல்லையா அவதூத கீதாஜியில் நிறைய வாட்டி வினோபமோகம் நிறைய அவதூத கீதாஜம் நிறைய ஒரு chapter complete. So that will all enable us to go deeper and deeper into our own source. So very happy that so many points are there.
Chidananda Swamiji's daily sadhana.
Daily sadhana, daily life. That is the most important one. Tomorrow Swamiji will tell us.
One point remains. Papa's talk on spirituality.
Papa's talk, very good. We all forgot
morning,
about
morning.
Swamiji,
Papa's talks on spirituality.
Swamiji, yesterday Swamiji said about you have to see God in yourself first. He just said that, but it was playing on the mind how to do that. And today Papa explained.
Acha. So he was telling the spirit, spirit and matter. He put it so in an understandable way that what is spirituality, what is God. He talked to us, and that we forgot. So every day, not on a lighter vein, we will try for this recap, because so that we will know something remains in us. And later on, God will definitely connect us up with whatever is needed. Some inputs, it will come in some form. So that means this is how we consolidate our readings. Otherwise, it will be just hearing and going. So we pray to the indwelling reality who has prompted us to take up all these things, who is facilitating everything to us, to guide us properly and lead us to himself. Hari Om. Thank you all very much. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 In the recap, we forgot one, which is also very important. Sitting at the feet of Ramdas. From writings of Swami Ramdas, Mother Hamilton, and Swami Sachidananda, so devotees, they have come all the way from Seattle. Let's see. Prepared everything and got it printed. So let us all make use of that wonderful gift. Please go and collect. Hari Om.
Hari Om. We have Bhajan Sandhya from 7:15 to 8:15 by Raghavendra ji and team of Hyderabad. We request all of you to assemble here by 7:10. Hari Om.
श्री राम जय राम पापा को हमने उठाया पापा ने उठाया पापा ने उठाया पापा ने उठाया हरिओम
On your leg. Hurry up. पेट संभालो
Won't I or I shall give you mine? Huh? Oh, thank you. 10 try.
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಹರಿಯೋ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಂದ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರ ಹಾಂ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾಂ ಹರಿಯಂ
ఇది 8 to 10 ఇవాళ
One minute.
Coffee.
Finished. Over, no? It is over.
We only had 100 print tickets for it. I think we need more. There are going to be some here at the library. And there's a few people in the ashram who already have them. So they will pass them around. I'm sorry. Maybe try and get the ashram to order some more.
Okay. I want to just take
Yes. And also, I don't even have my cards with me, but it's on the website. It'll be available on our website in the US.